Okay, so picture this. You're standing at the edge of a swimming pool, and it's not 6 feet deep, not 12 feet. It's 200 feet. That's like diving down the height of a 20-story building. Yeah, welcome to Dubai, the city where skyscrapers touch the clouds, malls feel like theme parks, and apparently, swimming pools are built just to break your brain. But here's the real kicker. This pool isn't just big. It's the deepest pool in the world, a literal man-made abyss that's filled with 14 million liters of water. And get this, it's not just water down there. Inside, there's an entire sunken city. You can dive past fake apartments, garages, even arcade machines, like a video game brought to life. Now, you might be thinking, cool flex, Dubai. But why? Or even better, how? Because building something this extreme in the middle of a desert, that's not just ambitious, it's borderline insane. And today, we're going to find out how engineers pulled it off, and how close this project came to literally floating away. Here's the deal. Water is heavy, like super heavy. 1 cubic meter of water weighs a ton. Imagine 14 million of those. If you stack that weight up, it's like parking 35 jumbo jets in one place. So now ask yourself, how do you keep all that pressure from blowing the walls apart? How do you dig 200 feet into desert sand without everything collapsing? And what happens if the groundwater pushes back? Stick around, because the answers involve underwater cities, NASA-level tech, and an engineering trick that works like an anchor on a giant ship. Dubai's record obsession. First things first, why even build this? Well, Dubai has a bit of a reputation. Tallest building in the world? Burj Khalifa. Biggest shopping mall? Check. Indoor ski slope? In the desert? Yep, they've got that too. Basically, Dubai doesn't just like breaking records, they collect them like Pokemon cards. Right now, they hold over 400 Guinness World Records. And the rulers of Dubai? They don't like losing that top spot. So when they heard Poland had opened a 45-meter deep pool, Dubai was like, hold my gold-plated coffee, we're going deeper. And that's how Deep Dive Dubai was born. The pressure problem. Here's where it gets wild. At 200 feet deep, the pressure is about 6 times what you feel at the surface. Imagine trying to breathe with 6 people sitting on your chest. That's what divers feel down there. For engineers, this means the pool walls need to be insanely strong. We're talking reinforced concrete thicker than a bank vault, lined with waterproofing layers so precise that even the tiniest leak could become a disaster. And here's a fun comparison. If even one crack formed, the pressure would make water blast out like a fire hose, except this fire hose would be big enough to blow through a wall. Digging the impossible. Now, how do you dig a hole that deep in Dubai's sandy soil? You can't just grab a shovel and say, let's go. The soil would cave in instantly. So the engineers built what's called a diaphragm wall. Basically, they dug narrow trenches all the way down and filled them with reinforced concrete, creating a protective shell. Once that was in place, they carefully scooped out the inside layer by layer. Think of it like hollowing out a chocolate Easter egg. You build the shell first, then carve out the inside so it doesn't collapse on you. The groundwater nightmare. But here's the plot twist. Only 8 meters down they hit groundwater. And not just a little trickle. This was full-on flooding. Now imagine trying to dig while water keeps pouring in. It's like trying to build a sandcastle while the tide's coming in. Impossible. So they installed massive pumps that ran 24/7 for years, constantly sucking water out so construction could keep going. At one point, engineers joked the pumps were like babysitters. They couldn't switch them off for even a day without everything filling back up. The buoyancy crisis. Okay, here's where the project nearly sank, literally. See, when you dig a giant hole and fill it with water, the groundwater underneath pushes back. It's the same reason why a sealed water bottle floats up in a pool. At first, engineers calculated the force for a 45-meter pool. But then, Dubai's crown prince said, nope, I want 60 meters, deepest in the world. Problem, that extra 15 meters meant way more buoyancy force, enough to potentially push the entire pool out of the ground. Imagine that, A 14 million liter concrete bathtub popping out of the desert like a cork out of champagne. Not a good look for a world record. The genius fix. So how do you stop a pool from floating away? Anchors. They literally created what's called an under-reamed base. Giant, anchor-like structures built into the ground beneath the pool, locking it in place. It's basically like tying down a spaceship so it doesn't blast off. The anchors counteract the upward force of the groundwater, making sure the pool stays firmly put, no matter how much water is inside. The sunken city. And this is where the fun part comes in. Instead of leaving it as a boring, deep hole, they turned it into an underwater theme park. There's a fake sunken apartment, an underwater library, a garage with a car, even an arcade machine that looks like it's been underwater for decades. Divers can swim through doorways, explore hallways, and feel like they're in a flooded city. It's not just for fun either. Professional divers use it for training, and filmmakers use it as a set. Think of it as Disneyland for divers.
NASA-level clean water. Now here's a detail I love. The pool cycles all its water every 6 hours using NASA-designed filtration. 14 million liters, cleaned multiple times a day. That means no algae, no grime, no floating hair ties. If your local pool is a swamp, this is like a crystal clear aquarium. Honestly, the water here is probably cleaner than what comes out of your tap. Safety first. But don't get it twisted. This isn't just for anyone to cannonball into. At 60 meters, divers face real dangers like decompression sickness. So the pool is loaded with safety tech. 50+ cameras monitor everything. There are multiple hyperbaric chambers in case of emergencies, and trained staff are on site 24/7. Basically, it's part world record, part science lab, and part hospital, all rolled into one. What it means for Dubai. So why go through all this trouble? Simple. Tourism, status, and innovation. Deep Dive Dubai isn't just a pool, it's a magnet. People fly in from all over the world just to experience it, spend money, and leave with Instagram posts that scream, "I was here." And for Dubai, that's priceless. Their whole strategy is, build something no one else has, and the world will come to you. But here's a thought. If we can build a 200-foot deep pool in the middle of the desert, what's next? Underwater hotels? Entire submerged stadiums? Maybe even underground oceans on Mars someday. It sounds crazy, but then again, so did Dubai itself. A few decades ago, it was just desert and fishing villages. Now, it's the world's playground. So next time you're floating in your backyard pool, sipping a soda, just remember, halfway across the world, people are diving into an artificial abyss, exploring a man-made Atlantis, all thanks to some of the most mind-blowing engineering on Earth. And honestly, that's the real magic here. It's not just about a record. It's about showing what's possible when humans dream big and actually go for it. If this blew your mind, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the craziest projects humans are building around the world. Trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next.